Hi everyone, welcome to Wise Words Weekly. We're in week 3, every Tuesday at 2 p.m. So every week I'm helping business owners build their copy confidence. So I'm sharing tips around how to write better for your business so that you can sit down and kind of effortlessly write out some words whenever you need to, because we all know you can't have a copywriter following you around all the time, unfortunately. So it does help to build those skills just so that you can know that you can effortlessly write for your business when you need to. If you are interested in learning more, I'm actually doing some live training on this. So if you click the link in my bio, you can sign up for the waitlist so you'll know when the doors open on the training. So every week I'm going to be really delving into different aspects of copywriting so that you can kind of build your copy confidence. And it might not be something you want to do, but if you know someone that might, please let them know or sign up for the waitlist, and then you can kind of forward the email onto them as well. So that link is in the bio. So, and also if you have any questions as I'm talking, please kind of write them in the comments and I'll get to them at the end. So the past 2 weeks we've been talking about research, and if you didn't catch those, please go back and have a look. So they're on my feed. The past 2 Tuesdays I've been talking about what to do before you start writing. In my opinion, research is not talked about enough, it's undervalued, and it really will elevate your writing. A, it elevates your writing, and B, it makes it much more easy to write. So please make sure if you didn't catch them to go back and look, because it will really make a world of difference to your writing. So now I'm going to talk about website copy, and this is like a huge topic, and actually I was going to talk about home pages in general, and as I started preparing I actually realised that was way too big as well, so I've actually honed it down to just homepage buttons, and there's actually enough to talk about just in that topic today. So I'm going to talk about the different types of buttons you should have on your homepage and how to make sure that they're best optimized for conversions. So your website is so important because it's your shop front, and you'll hear this a lot, but I don't think that. So I see a lot of business owners spending loads and loads of time and money and sanity on marketing and doing all these marketing channels and spending hours on their marketing, and that's all great and getting all the engagement. But then ultimately everybody's led back to a website that isn't converting, and kind of you're not seeing the ROI. So your website is so important, and just making little changes can make a huge difference. You don't need a copywriter to come and redo the whole thing, which I know can be quite a daunting task. So if you just want to make little copy changes, then you can, and it's easy to do. So today I'm going to talk about buttons. So the homepage of your website is obviously navigation control. So this is where everyone's going to land, and then you want to kind of take them on a journey around your website, or you want to lead them to an action you want them to take. And there are 3 different types of buttons that you should have on your website. The first one is the call to action button. So this is your main action you want people to take. It might be book a call, it might be buy a product, it might be a free trial. Usually you'll see this main call to action button in the top right of a website, and it also should be at least twice on your homepage, usually at the bottom and kind of in the middle. Sometimes people have it in the heading, and there's a lot of argument as to what stage of awareness your visitor will be at in order to click a button that's in your heading that take that call to action button straight away. But you should always make sure it's at least 2 or 3 places in your website. So that's your main call to action. This is ultimately what I want people to do. But sometimes that commitment is too big, so you need to lessen the commitment a little bit, and that second button on your website homepage and throughout your site is called the call to value button. So this is where you might want someone to exchange their email address for something of value that you're giving them. So it could be a download, in some cases it's a free trial, in some cases it's like a discount voucher if you're a commerce store. So there's lots of different lower commitment value add-ons you can give to people. So they give you their email address, and then they're actually still in your orbit, so you can email market to them afterwards rather than just bouncing off the page because they weren't ready to book a call yet. So your call to value is the second button, and it really helps to place your call to value and your call to action button next to each other. So people like binary choice. They like to pick either one thing or they like to pick another. So if you have just one button by itself, their options are either to click the button or don't click the button. So and more often than not, they're a bit scared of making the decision and they'll defer and go off, do something else and forget all about it. Whereas if you put two buttons next to each other, the binary choice there is either do this or do this. So they're less likely to do nothing. So that's a little tip. Make sure at some point on your homepage you have your call to actions next to each other so that you're giving people binary choice and both of them lead to an action you want them to take. So button number 1 is your call to action button. Button number 2 is your call to value button. So that's how you get their email address. And the third button, which is my name for it, I'm not sure what it would actually be called, is the call to journey button. So this is where you want people to just navigate around your site. So they're not actually ready to make a commitment of give you their email address yet. They're definitely not ready to book anything or buy anything. You just want to kind of take them on a journey so they can get to know you a little bit before they make another, and they might make that decision on a different web page, but they're not quite ready on the homepage yet. So you can do this by linking in your text, and you definitely should, because that's good for SEO, making sure you're linking different sites to your homepage, different pages, to your homepage. But also make sure you've got a button which leads them to another page on your site as well. So usually your about page or a blog page, somewhere else where they can carry on the journey, because quite often with your other buttons, that's kind of the end of their journey. So if they book a call or they download your ebook, it's kind of like, oh, so I've done the action, that's the end of the journey right then. Whereas if you include buttons where they're navigating around the site a bit, then they carry on the journey with your business, they read a bit more about you, and they kind of develop that like, know, and trust factor. So those are the 3 buttons that you should have, and they apply throughout the site, but let's just talk homepage for now. Your call to value button, which is the main action you want someone to take. Your call to value button, which is where you give someone value in exchange for their email address. And your call to journey button, which is where you take them on another page on your site and lead them on the journey. So those are the 3 buttons, and there's best practice in terms of button, what should be written on the button as well. I'll just give you this little tip, because I don't want to overwhelm you with information today, but I will be giving bonus content about buttons. I'm going to be writing this up, so make sure you join my email list, link in bio, and I can email out some more information on buttons, because it's so important. This is like the epicenter of your conversions. So my other little tip on buttons is make sure you're writing them in first person, so especially your call to value button. So if you've got a download, for example, of you're a dietitian and it's helping people lose their belly fat, what you need to write on your button, not download my ebook, it's I want to lose my belly fat. So you answer the question that's in their head, I want to. So your button would be lose my belly fat. So do you see, you have to write them in first person, and you have to answer the question, I want to. Now that does not work for every button. Sometimes you just need to do book a call. Sometimes you just need to do buy now. But especially for your call to value buttons, where you are actually asking people to kind of download a valuable bit of information, actually write what the value is in the button and write it in first person. So I hope that's been useful. I do not want to overwhelm with information. I know there's so much we can talk about with buttons. If you did find it useful, please go to the link in my bio, join the email list, and join the waitlist for the Build Your Copy Confidence live training, which will be happening soon. Tell your friends, let me have a look if there's any questions. Oh, thanks, Beck. Clear and simple. Thank you. That's what I was going for. Yeah, no one seems to have any questions. Okay, cool. All right, thanks everyone. I will see you next week. We're talking websites still. We can probably talk about websites for the next year, but I'll try and hone it into the stuff you really need to know. See you then. Bye-bye.